Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for being such an amazing community so far and for all of your support. You guys have been amazing and it's been so much fun to create content for the One Piece TCG. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the notification bell. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of July. If we hit that goal, I'll be doing an awesome giveaway with custom One Piece cards that you won't want to miss. And so let's make it happen together, and thanks again for being awesome. Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's OPTCG here, and I'm coming at you with another video. I know it's been a little while, and I say this at the start of every one of my videos, but I swear this is probably the last time I say it because we've gone through the holidays, we've gone through nationals, we've gone through the extensive workload I had to come back to after being away for the holidays and nationals. And so now we are finally catching back up and having a little bit more of a normal schedule. And so I'm hopefully going to try to get back to posting 1 to 2 videos a week. But yeah, before we get into the video, I wanted to talk about nationals. Wow, it was a fantastic time. Got to meet a ton of great players, a ton of my supporters, as well as other content creators, and yeah, just fellow One Piece lovers. And so it was an awesome time. If you guys do see me at future events, come say hi. I usually try to tweet or show on Instagram where I'm going to be at during the day. Don't be shy. I love meeting people, and so come by and say hi next time. I'm going to be trying to go out to more of those events, things like the regionals. I might be at One Piece Day. Not sure. It lines up with my wife's birthday, and so may not be able to make that one, but definitely will be going out to other regionals and as many offline events as I can. But with that being said, let's get to the video. So I'm starting a new video series on how to improve your gameplay. And so, as general as that sounds, these are just going to be little tidbits of tips and tricks and general play line rulings, or guides rather, that you can follow to help improve your gameplay. And so, what I've noticed throughout playing at certain events, side events, etc., there are these little efficiency things that people tend to miss, and me included in this, until someone points it out to me as well. And so as those things come up, I'll probably compile them in 2 to 3 different tips and then release a short video. And so I'll make this into a playlist so that you can kind of always refer back to this. And yeah, this is going to be more general playline guides rather than matchup specific things. But with that being said, let's get into the video. So the first concept I want to go over is free value swings. And so it's the least amount of Dawn commitment to generate the highest value swings. The reasons why we like to do this is because it allows us to adjust your play lines after your opponent responds, right? So One Piece is a very interesting game in that there's no distinct phases where there's a summoning phase, attack phase, and then a closing phase. It's very free-flowing. So we have the ability to attack, at the very beginning, or attack at the very end. Then we can attack and summon. There's the order in which we do things. As long as it follows along with the rules, we're able to be very flexible on that. But the cool thing about that is it allows us to adjust our play lines by seeing how our opponents react, right? And so the concept of this is if we can generate efficient swing numbers with the least amount of Dawn commitments, that allows us with the most amount of Dawn afterwards to respond to however our opponent has chosen to respond. And so I know it sounds a little confusing, but we'll go over it in this little simulation that I've put together. And so in this example, say it's our turn, and this is the board state. So we have a 7k power Ace, a 6k power Luffy, a 2k power Monkey D. Garp, and our leader. And so say we wanted to swing at Lucci's life here. And again, we'll for this example, we'll say that all of our characters can swing. if we wanted to swing 7K first, which leader or which character or leader would we swing with? And so, do we swing with Ace? Do we swing with Luffy? Or do we swing with Garp? And so, what I've noticed that I've seen around is people would tend to don up Luffy and swing Luffy first, or I've even seen people don up Garp and then swing Garp 7. You know, in this scenario, you would argue it's best to swing with the Ace first, right? Because one, it hits that magic 2K number, right? 7K to the Lucci leader, forcing either 2 cards to respond or them to take the life. The reason why we'd want to swing with the Ace first is because it requires no Dawn for us to commit this swing to check to see what the Rob Lucci player will do, right? And so based off of how they respond to the 7K swing, we can now use the remaining Dawn that we have to adjust our play lines, right? And so say they choose to counter out and now they have no cards in hand. Now you're cooking. Now you can actually go for game. But say that, you know, they took it, it triggers something that delays the game out. Now we have all of our Dawn here remaining to adjust our play lines and shift however we would need to extend the game another turn. And so this is a concept where if you're able to achieve this sort of state, you'd want to be able to swing with the least amount of Dawn commitment first, just so you can get the maximum value of your Dawn to flex later. And so, yeah, the only exception to this is if we are trying to play around certain triggers or certain cards that may prevent us from going lethal or put too much of a wrench in our plans, right? And so, for example, in this case scenario, if we had to go for lethal, in this case, I would still probably swing with the Ace first, but we do have to be aware that there could be a Shigan or a Tempest Kick trigger that could take out one of our future attacks. And so those are the only exceptions in mind. Otherwise, you generally want to try to swing with the least amount of Dawn commitment that gets you the highest value. And so that's the first concept. And then the second concept is in lethal attack patterns. And so I know this has kind of been, people have gone over this time and time again, but I'm still seeing and running into opponents that are either overcommitting Dawn during a lethal attempt, and in which case I'm able to counter out of my last attack. And yeah, so being able to calculate maximum counters in hands and the swing pattern of lowest to highest to guarantee lethal is a really good math skill to have. And so we're going to go back to this here. And so say, again, we're going to be going for lethal. We need 3 swings to go through, right? And so in this scenario, again, let's say the Rob Lucci player only has 1 card in hand. If they only have 1 card in hand, the maximum they can counter is 1 times the 2K counter, which is 7K. Which means we are free to swing with Ace at a 7K. They'll have to take it. Once they take it, their maximum number of counter in hand could go up by another 2K. So the maximum they can get to is 9. So it would require us to commit 3 more Dawn to Luffy to swing 9. And then the highest it can go then is 11, which case we'd have to kind of risk it with the Sabo to get him to 11 or 10. But so with each card that they continue to add to hand, the highest counter they can get is 2K per card. And so I've seen people attach a Dawn to the Ace and swing 8 when you only have 1 card in hand. Completely unnecessary. Just count the number of cards that they have and then multiply by 2K, and that is the maximum that can get to. But again, yeah, there always is variance to your right, and so With that being said, there is an exception to that rule, and that is when your opponent has 0 life, which I do notice this happen time to time too. But if your opponent has no life, or if you know the life is not going to add any counters to hand, like in a BY Luffy matchup, you always want to split evenly. And so I've seen people doing the low to high attack pattern when, say, the Lucha player had no life left and they were hiding behind like a blocker. I've noticed some people still splitting up the Dawn so that it doesn't swing evenly, but they'll try to go low to high, which I do think is another mistake, because at that point, they're not going to be able to add any more value to the number of counters in hand. So swinging evenly will be your best and most efficient play line to actually go for lethal at that point. And so those are just like 2 little tidbits that I wanted to share with you guys, and that can help you improve your game. When you're closing out a game, I know it gets a little bit nerve-wracking, and so I think this is where certain misplays can end up happening. But again, if you just follow these concepts and apply them to your games, hopefully these videos will help you to slightly improve your gameplay over time. And so with that being said, this will conclude the first part of our Improve Your Gameplay series. Stay tuned for more. And if you guys haven't already, make sure to check out the shop. I have a ton of new cards dropping in the next few weeks, and a ton of collaboration cards coming out soon. And so be on the lookout for that. As always, please comment, like, subscribe. Anything really helps. But thank you so much for watching. OPTCG out.